You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney theme parks podcast, and this is show number 234, the Sunday, the 4th of November, 2018.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to the Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my good friend Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Now this week I have gone to some wonderful friends of ours from that fabulous Australian podcast, Diz Down Under. So I'd like to say a good old British welcome and a cheerio hello to Kat and Lewis. Hello there, my lovelies.
G'day, Michelle. How you going?
G'day, Michelle.
G'day, cobbers. How you doing?
Yeah, we're awesome. The sun's shining. The birds are tweeting. It's spring has finally sprung.
This is what I love about talking with you guys. You've got spring springing and we've got autumn falling.
Oh, those leaves falling, like you've put some pictures up on your social media and just all that. It's all just so nice, and I don't know. Your forests and stuff are just so much nicer than our dry, horrible ground. Everything's starting to dry out around here.
We got the bush.
We got the bush.
The bush.
Yep. Got the bush. Got the flies.
Well, we get green fly.
Oh, nice.
But yeah. Anyway, we are here and we are going to be talking a lot about Disney. Quelle surprise. And I want to kick off because I've got my buddies who know a little bit about film. Well, a hell of a lot about film. And I'd like to ask them a little bit about some upcoming films. Now, yesterday I was at the cinema and quelle surprise, I stayed awake. And I saw a trailer for a film. I kind of thought, ooh, I wouldn't mind seeing that actually. Captain Marvel.
Ooh, and what were your thoughts?
Well, the trailer was one of the longest trailers I've seen for quite a long time. And I think it basically gave every single good part of the film in the trailer. So probably when I get to see the film, there won't be much good bits because they've shown it all on the trailer. But bear in mind, I'm not a Marvel fan. The idea I got is this girl arrives on Earth and she has no memory where she came from, but every now and again she had flashbacks to when she was young. Does that sound about right?
I'll let you take this one, Lewis, as the comic nerd of the house.
Well, it's actually Carol Danvers is the character's real name. In the comics, she is I think she's in the Air Force or she's in some sort of military organization because I think she's a captain. I'm not sure. But she takes on the powers. Originally, she was Ms. Marvel. And then after the original Captain Marvel died, actually his name was Marvel, was his actual name, which is his legitimate where he comes from. That was his name was Marvel, but because we're Earth people, we didn't realize that's how he pronounced it, so we just call him Captain Marvel. I'm really looking forward to this because this is the very first of the Marvel Cinematic Universe films with a solo female character as the title character. And it's also going to be set in the 1990s. It's going to have a young Nick Fury and a young Agent Coulson.
And it's going to have a blockbuster.
It's going to have a blockbuster as well. I'm very excited by this film. I think it's going to be very interesting. And it's got Skrulls, so it's going to be cool. Skrulls are shape-shifting aliens for those of you listening at home.
I was just going to ask you what's a scroll because I was imagining a scroll being something
like a cinnamon scroll.
Well, actually, I was thinking of a degree scroll.
No, it's a Skrull, scroll. Did you get shocked when you saw her like belting an old woman in the face on a bus?
Yeah, it was like, oh my word, she's obviously a baddie, is that old lady? Because you just don't go around hitting old ladies.
She might be a scroll.
She might be a scroll.
Spoilers.
Okay, well, it looks exciting.
What did you think of the de-aged Samuel L. Jackson?
You mean they sort of computerized and made him look young and attractive?
Yeah, that was pretty much
He's attractive as an old man, let's face it.
Yeah.
Just me.
But they made him young. Like they took off like 20 years off his face. It was amazing.
Do you think they could do that to me?
I think they could do that to anyone these days. It's like you've seen all those apps on the phone. It's like, here's you old, here's you young, here's you as the opposite gender. It's like, yeah, they can do anything.
They're just brilliant. But I could just sit and listen to him anyway. There's a fair few actors out there, Samuel L. Jackson and Morgan Freeman. They could just recite the most boring book in the world and I just love it.
Yeah, history lessons or something like that.
Oh, so amazing. So yeah, that's coming out next year in the UK.
Yeah. Now, what date is it looking like coming out? Because I've got some really exciting news, Michelle. The Avengers is going to be my birthday present this year.
You're getting the whole collection of them to turn up to your party.
Yeah. Well, sort of. In the movie theatre. So it's actually due to come out on May the 3rd, which is awesome. So when's Captain Marvel coming out, Lou?
I think Captain Marvel comes out in March.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it March 19th or something? Rings a bell?
Yeah, rings a bell. I'm not sure exactly, but yes, around there.
We're bad comic book fans.
You see, the thing that gets me, they show these amazing, absolute wonderful trailers, and then you've got to wait 6 months for them to turn up.
Yep.
Well, that trailer is just the first trailer. There'll be probably another 2 before it actually comes out.
Stop making trailers, start making the movie.
That's to build the anticipation.
So what other movies were you looking forward to, Michelle?
Well, the other movie, and this is sort of a link to the big news this week about the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. And I don't know, is it just me, but yesterday, or the other day should I say, the red pop vinyl debuted in Disney shops, Disney Village, Disney Springs, Downtown Disney, etc. And they're really making a big thing out of this red from Pirates of the Caribbean. And then they do this rumour about there's going to be no Johnny Depp in the next Pirates of the Caribbean reboot from the team behind Deadpool. Is it going to be another girl power movie where we have a female lead, strong, powerful character?
Ooh, who would we have? Who would you cast as Red?
Me.
I hope so.
Of course.
That'd be awesome.
Oh, you kick some pirate butt.
Yeah, redheads are hot.
Maybe Karen Gillan.
Yeah, that would be good.
She'd be good.
But you need
She
somebody.
could be piratey. I reckon she could be really piratey.
I think you need somebody to play Red. You need somebody who's like kind of tall and imposing as well.
I reckon she could be tall and imposing.
What about if they could get Gwendolyn Christie to grow out her hair and then dye that red?
She's an amazing actress.
No, I reckon she could be hot as. Those scenes of her in Game of Thrones, some of them were like, pretty full on. Oh, who
And you
was the
should-
one who played River Song? Like someone like her. Or trying to think of the actress's name. She played Canary in Green Arrow. And she was actually River Song's daughter. Not River Song's daughter, but the actress's daughter in that show. Bit of body to them.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing with Karen Gillan is that, she's kind of one of those lanky kind of people. Mind you, I guess like if you're living on a pirate ship, I don't think you'd have that much time to gain much weight.
Yeah, no, I don't
And if they can
think so.
make Morgan Freeman look 20 years younger, they can always make her a little bit curvier.
Yeah, or she could just go on like one of those full-on protein bodybuilding diets for beforehand. Like trying to think of the movie American History X. What was Edward Norton. I always get those two confused.
Yeah,
They're completely different people. Edward Norton went on that diet and just got like massively huge, but he was also very skinny in the same movie, and it wasn't done digitally. It was all done through diet.
Well, we'll see if that's going to come to fruition in the next few months ahead. Now, while we're sort of connecting ourselves to Disneyland a little bit, because there's a Pirates of the Caribbean attraction there, and apart from Shanghai, it's probably the better Pirates of the Caribbean attraction. Enchanted Tiki Room is being reopened, and it's had a little bit of a refurb. They're getting rid of the wheelchair elevator, and they've put a ramp in for access. It's looking pretty spiffy.
That's awesome. I'm glad to see them putting a ramp in. That's really exciting rather than having to stuff around with an elevator.
And I must admit, having had to use a wheelchair in the theme parks when I had my knee injury, you don't really like going in these special wheelchair elevators and things like that, because it just makes you feel not part of the attraction and not part of the theming, because it's like, oh, I'm special, whereas a disabled ramp anyone can use in effect, and it just makes it feel more inclusive.
Precisely, like if you're using crutches or...
Yeah.
No, I think that's a great addition. I'm really excited to get back there and to actually go because, of course, we missed out this last trip because they were making these renovations. Did I hear rumours that they were adding on some sort of eatery?
At the back, yes.
Pretty exciting stuff. I wonder if they're going to serve Dole Whip in like 12 different ways.
So
It's my kind of restaurant.
And while we're talking about Disneyland, let's hop over to DCA, and there's been more news about Phase 1 of the Marvel-themed area. Have you been able to catch any of the news behind that?
I'm excited because where the Tough to Be Bug theatre was, that's going to be transformed into a Spider-Man attraction. And there was like these rumors a while back about this swinging kind of ride vehicle that they were saying was going to be for Spider-Man. So I'd be interested to see if that's what ends up being there. I'm really hoping that they do a Captain America ride, and it's like similar to Tron, because Captain America in the comics in particular, at some points has had a hover cycle, which is like a motorbike, but it's hovers and he has a shield at the front of it.
Right.
And it's pretty awesome. So I could just imagine Tron-like ride vehicles, which were made like hover cycles with a Captain America shield in front.
His eyes have literally glazed over at this point.
I gather that there is meant to be some sort of roller coaster in phase 2, and it's meant to be an e-ticket spectacular, but there aren't really any details out about that. They have said there's something called a Quinjet, and obviously that means nothing to me. I'm just thinking of quintuplets and 5 babies. But I gather for you guys this will mean something completely different.
Yeah, the Quinjet's used quite heavily, particularly in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They use the Quinjet quite a bit as a mode of transportation. It's basically a fancy stealth jet that gets people around to places.
Yeah, they're basically vertical takeoff, vertical landing vehicles, and they're awesome. And it'd be great if they could get them as transport in the parks.
Taking you
you
meaning to park hopping.
Yeah, could you imagine like you maybe go to the airport and instead of catching the Magic Express, you catch a Quinjet, takes you straight to the straight to the park.
Okay, all out, I would pay $200 to go Quinjet.
Oh.
No LA traffic, it'd be amazing. $200 a person, I'm talking.
Yeah.
I'd do that. No traffic, no worries.
You'd be there in like minutes. Like just be there.
Can it just turn up at my doorstep and take me now?
Oh, wouldn't that be lovely?
There's also meant to be some sort of Doctor Strange show, which I'm gathering if you like Doctor Strange, that'd be something big for you to go and see.
Well, building the Sanctum Sanctorum makes so much sense. Like, you can have the building there. And I'm assuming that they will probably have some Marvel kind of buildings. Like, I don't know if they'll have the Baxter building and stuff like that, which where the Fantastic Four live. But the Sanctum Sanctorum would be such an awesome addition to the park, because it could be like I think in the comics it's a brownstone. So, you could have...
Oh, the New York one.
The New York one, yeah. So you could just have like the different, kind of building there, and it'd be really cool. I reckon it'd be awesome.
It'd be great if they built a Stark Tower. Oh, my goodness, that'd be a great idea for a hotel.
Stark Tower Hotel.
Oh, my goodness. That'd be amazing.
Well, Disney were wanting to build a hotel until it got shelved.
Well, maybe this could be the idea.
But I think they want
Star Wars.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah. Give me Stark Tower, but I'd want to see Tony Stark there.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tony Stark's not difficult to do. It's just like a dude that looks like Rob Downey Jr. with a mustache, so it's fine.
And yet they've never been able to swing it with Peter Quill.
Yeah, I know. The weird thing is, like, when you think about the face characters in the parks, like, it is so easy to get them correct. All you need to do is go to a comic book convention, find the cosplayers playing Tony Stark, find the cosplayers playing Peter Quill, and just go, would you like to come work for Disney? And they would be bang up for it, because the people who are cosplayers put so much time and effort into making themselves look exactly like the characters. I don't know why they're just going, no, we'll just cast actors. We'll just go get some actors who look kind of like it. And so, no, just being tall and having brown hair does not make you Peter Quill. You got to look somewhat like Chris Pratt, So, or just ask Chris Pratt if he wants to come do it. I'm sure he'll be bang up for that.
I'll pull the soapbox out from under him in a second.
Well, you got me thinking there about the whole idea of the hotels, and you just sort of think, well, when it comes to Disney, they're going to think about which will generate the biggest income. And I'm sorry, I know you're a massive Marvel fan, but Star Wars will win every time.
Yeah.
Tell that to Hotel New York and Disneyland Paris.
Well, they're going all Marvelised, aren't they? But I think with Paris, they are doing a big Marvel thing over there as well, aren't they? And maybe they couldn't do something theming-wise over there. They wanted to make it specifically Marvel. I don't know. Intriguing.
The New York hotel was probably up to a point where it needed to have a bit of an overhaul.
Yeah.
So I mean, Marvel at that time where they made that decision was the biggest thing that was happening.
That's right. The next hotel to get an overhaul there will be the Disneyland Hotel. So maybe they'll make that the Star Wars Hotel.
Oh, no.
That won't happen.
I think the Disneyland Hotel has to be the iconic Disneyland style that it is now, which you get with like the Grand Floridian in Walt Disney World and the other parks around the world, where it's basically old but new.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's sort of harking back to a bygone era, but the Disneyland Hotel in Paris does need some TLC, I will admit to that.
Actually, Grand Floridian could do with a bit of love as well. Like when we were there earlier in the year, the elevator was like, oh, this is lots of peel and paint on this one. Yeah.
But that was the marked difference. Oh, I'm going to get off topic a little bit, but that was the marked difference that I found between going back to the American parks after going to the Asian parks, where in the Asian parks, you never see a surface dirty. You never see anything out of place. You never see like chips coming off paint. And yet I saw that quite a bit in the American parks. It was quite interesting seeing the different standard.
True.
But anyway, I won't drive this too far off topic. Sorry.
Okay. And then the final thing they've announced, if we're remembering where I was many eons ago about this Marvel land, is they're going to have some kind of microbrewery and a counter service. And I'm sure Disneyland, who do food a lot better than Walt Disney World in many areas, it won't be as poor as the offerings they gave us in Toy Story Land.
I certainly hope not. Microbrewery is really exciting, provided they get the right people in doing the brews and something, it'd be good to see something really, truly creative rather than just trying to get brews in there that are going to just appease the masses.
And food, I'm sure it'll be themed. Look at all the wonderful food offerings that they've done for Pixar Pier with all those different options that you've got, and they've all been incredibly well themed, and I'm sure this won't be any difference.
I'd expect that as well, yeah.
Well, if they do set the Marvel stuff in New York, because the majority of Marvel...
They can make shawarma.
Yeah. The majority of Marvel comics are set in New York. It's just where they kind of, the Avengers were based in New York, the Fantastic Four in New York, Spider-Man's in New York. So it's a very New York-based culture for Marvel. So I hope they incorporate that into the design of the place. And then, you could have in the streets hot dog vendors or pretzel vendors and things like that. So very New Yorky kind of street food. Maybe a pizza place that makes some amazing New York-like pizzas.
Falafel.
Yes, falafel as well, and shawarma as well. So yeah, lots and lots of food options that they've got to choose from.
As I've never been to New York, I wouldn't know, but I will go to Disneyland and enjoy it there.
Exactly.
Okay, anything else for any other news items before we move on?
Have you seen the new offerings from the dress shop?
Oh no. What's going to bankrupt me now? What they brought in?
Well, I'm not really sure about it. I don't know whether you've got something nearby that you can do a bit of a Google, but I've seen images of a new dress, a new Beauty and the Beast one that's more specifically a Chip and Mrs. Pop. Now, I'd just be interested to see what your thoughts are on it. I've seen, a couple of other ones that I hadn't seen before. There was a Sally dress that was out in time for Halloween, which is awesome. And I so wish that we'd seen those because I thought that was really cool. And hopefully they'll still be around when we go back, Lou, so I can bankrupt you again. Yeah, I just thought it would be interesting to see what you thought, Michelle, just to throw you on the spot.
I've seen the Chip one, and my main thought about that is, who on their right mind would buy something that has got such a predominant feature in white and actually choose to wear it to a theme park?
It's just weird. To me, the Chip was too big and he looks like he's aged 40 years. And then you've got Mrs. Potts on the back on the tie, which half the time if you accidentally tie it the wrong way, then you're not going to see her at all. But as far as the standard went for the dress, it was like they'd lowered their standard for making dresses that, you can wear out to a nice dinner, most of them, still look nice and meet a dress code. But that one just looked really casual.
I'm not a fan of the halter neck that ties behind the neck. And I just, as you say, I think this one, it's too themed around Disney for me. The reason I like the ones that I've got is that they hint at Disney, but they aren't overtly Disney, like the Dole Whip one that I got and the Mary Poppins one. They're not screaming Disney, Disney, where I think this one screams Disney, unless you're going to think, why someone got a yellow question mark on their face?
Yeah. I think that's probably the way to look at it as well. Anyway, I just thought that was an interesting one, just to see what your thoughts were on that one.
Yeah, each to their own. Right, let's move on and have This Week in Disney History.
There you go. That's my new intro. Hello, this is me, Kieran, and welcome to another episode of This Week in the Disney History. So let's begin, shall we? Let's start the show. Ale beans. 4th of November. 1916, legendary newsman Walter Cronkite, who was the much-loved second voice of Epcot's Spaceship Earth, was born in St. Joseph, Missouri, on this day. He also appeared in the 1981 TV special Walt Disney, One Man's Dream, and the 1989 broadcast of the opening of Disney MGM Studios, which is now called Hollywood Studios. On the 5th of November 1990, Disney's Yacht Club Resort Hotel opened in Walt Disney World. This resort had 630 rooms and shares a convention center with the Beach Club. It also has the Yachtsman's Steakhouse with its dedicated lounge called the Cruise Cup Lounge, Ale and Compass Lounge, as well as pool-style counter service called Hurricane Hannah's. On the 7th of November 1966, Walt Disney was admitted to St. Joseph's Hospital in Burbank for surgery. Moving on to the 6th of November, 1872, and this saw the birth in Tennessee of stage actress Lucille Laverne, who was the voice of the Wicked Witch and her alter ego in Disney's 1937 classic Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. She was also the Disney artist's model for the old hag that the Queen transformed herself into, who then tempted Snow White with the poisoned apple. Now on to the 9th of November 1955, and this saw the birth of actress Karen Detrice, who was born in Guernsey, UK. She portrayed Jane Banks in Disney's 1964 Mary Poppins. In addition, she was in The Gnome-mobile and The 3 Lives of Thomasina. She said of Walt, "He was a jolly good friend and I knew him well once I got to America. We became firm friends even though I was 8. An interesting fact is that her sister Michelle is also an actress and is loved as her role as Frank Spencer's wife in Some Mothers Do Have 'Em. Last entry is on the 10th of November 1999. Actor-comedian Tim Allen, the voice of Buzz Lightyear, is among 9 inducted as Disney Legends. The ceremony is held in Burbank at Disney Legends Plaza at the Disney Studios lot. Anyway, goodbye. This is the end.
Well, let's move on now. Thank you for on This Week in Disney History, and we're going to have a little bit of a hark back to our summer of sensational festivities over in Walt Disney World and our Disney Cruise Line trip. And I know on your show you did a very quick review of Beaches and Cream, but I thought I'd take the opportunity of having you guys on the show and we can talk in a little bit more detail about this, because I think this is my 4th or 5th trip there, but for you guys it was a brand new experience. So I thought we'd have a chat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think we even knew it was there despite staying at the yacht club.
I knew of it and knew it was just difficult to get into.
Ah, okay.
And it was just like our first trip was so full on that I just didn't have time for it. So
fair call. But yeah, it was quite the trip, wasn't it? Do you want to share the evil plan, Michelle?
Well, it wasn't so evil, but we all know that if you want to eat at certain eateries, you have to book 180 days out. Well, 180 days out, I booked a reservation for Beaches and Cream, and I could only get a table for 2. And this was 180 days out. And I kept checking and checking and checking. And I couldn't get a table for the four of us. And I was like, well, what do we do? And I just said to you guys, I said, look, we'll plan to go and we'll just turn up a bit earlier because our reservation was for, I believe, 12 o'clock. And we'll just say, look, this four of us, we've met some friends, can you accommodate us? And that was the original plan. And then one of my lovely friends, Kirsten, gets in touch. Oh, I'm hanging around the theme parks on these days. Can I catch up with you? I said, well, we're going to Beaches and Cream. Oh, I've never been there. Okay, yeah, come along. So and now Table for Two was now going to be an intimate experience for five. And then my lovely friend Laura messaged us while we were on the cruise and said, Michelle, I'd love to come down and spend the weekend with you guys at Walt Disney World. Yeah. So it was like our reservation had suddenly increased to 6, but it hadn't increased to 6 because I could only get a table for 2.
Yeah. But I was really amazed that they sort of said, okay, yep, no worries. That was amazing. I was so glad that the cast members could make it happen for us.
Well, we were nice. We did get there early and we were very polite with the cast members, saying, look, we've just collected a lot of other people on our journey this morning and we'd really love if you could make this happen. If you can't, it doesn't matter. We'll just have the table for 2 and go with it. She said, don't worry about it. We'll sort something out for you. And it was like, wow. And we even got in a little bit earlier than our 12 o'clock reservation as well.
Yeah, it was just so well done. And I just think that that little bit of magic is what sometimes makes a Disney trip. But going to that place, oh my goodness, what a treat.
And you wouldn't know it was there because it's not exactly easy to find tucked away in the Beach Club Resort area.
No, and we'd been in the pool, a couple of days before that and didn't even see it.
Now, if you can't get a reservation, there is a takeout window that you can go and utilise and there's some chairs outside. If you can't get that reservation, you can always do that. Or you can always just go and say, look, I don't mind waiting. Is there any chance you could squeeze us in? Because sometimes parties don't show up or people eat quicker than they were anticipating. So you never know, but don't take it as read that you can do that. The reason why this place is so difficult to get a reservation for is there's about 10 stools at the counter, maybe 3 or 4 booths that seat between 4 and 6 people depending on your party size, and only about 6 to 7 tables inside, so it's not overtly big.
Well, it was quite small, to be quite frank. It was really lovingly themed. I think having it small meant that you didn't have this great big area where it felt like it was trying to be themed this, but it didn't have that direct feel. It felt like a little diner.
Very intimate.
We did have this discussion at the table, though, if I recall, about, well, should it be a place that they'd look to enlarge and make a bigger? Do you recall us chatting through that?
Yeah, but I think it's one of the things that, I guess if you've got the demand, then I'm surprised that Disney hasn't done it sooner.
Isn't it better keeping it as there's so many things that are outside of people's ability to get to because of cost. Whereas Beaches and Cream is, quite affordable, but it's kind of one of those places that it's exclusive because you've got to plan to get in there. So it's kind of like got that, nice niche exclusivity, but it's not to do with cost. It's just to do with, making sure you get your booking in place.
True. I go to an American diner over here in the UK and I've been going there for about 8-9 years since it opened. And when it opened, it was really tiny and you couldn't book and you'd have to go, and sometimes we'd wait 90 minutes for a table, and it literally is in the middle of nowhere. And they've extended and extended and extended. And over the years, as they've made the place bigger, the quality has gone down, in my opinion, and the whole atmosphere and the feel of the place. It used to be a small, intimate little, it's our secret type of place, to this big, massive type, warehouse type of place that everybody knows of. And you don't tend to feel you get the value anymore. So I'd like to see it just remain as this little hole-in-the-wall place that you can go to, and it's a nice little nod to a bygone era where I imagine, a lot of people used to go to the cream soda shop at the bottom of the road.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. And in terms of the cast members and, the amount of tables, like the cast member to table ratio was really good, and you got a better experience with whoever was serving you.
Now, with a title called Beaches and Cream Soda Shop, you'd imagine it was just going to be an ice cream parlour. Oh no. No. You can get entrees that cater for pretty much any diet. The only thing I didn't notice on the menu was something for a vegan. They have veggie burgers, and they have their very famous grilled cheese and tomato bisque, and then they have all the way through to country fried steak and their whopper of an Angus beef burger. Now, you guys, I can't recall what you had.
We had the Angus beef burger, as I recall. No, Lewis?
Yeah, pretty sure we had the Angus beef burger, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's $17. So that, to me, is only a few more dollars than you'd pay at a counter service. And the two of you guys shared it.
Yeah, and that was the ideal thing that we did, was sharing that. And we had the cheesy bacony fries as well, and it was just spot on.
And we shared it, and there was still a lot of food.
Definitely a top tip, because then it leaves room for afters, and afters is what this place is about.
Oh, yeah.
I had the chili cheese fries just because I wanted one or two fries, and I love their chili. I think it is adorable. But they are also well known for their onion rings and their tomato bisque. But let's talk desserts.
Yeah, let's get straight to it. That was just amazing. I'm so glad that I was in a situation where I could split it. I think the three of us could have split what we got. Do you want to explain what we had, Lou?
What, the No Way Jose?
Oh, yeah.
You had one of those to yourself, didn't you, Michelle?
I might have.
To be fair, you didn't finish it. We didn't finish it. No one at our table finished it. It was just too big. It's certainly a three-person dessert, I think.
I recall the first time I went there, and Jane, Simon and Molly and Ethan, their two children, were there, and they had the kitchen sink. And the kitchen sink is, $32. I think what we should have done is have a kitchen sink between the lot of us and tried to have finished it, in hindsight anyway.
Yeah.
There were 6 of us.
Yeah, Lewis actually mentioned that a couple of nights ago. We were talking about it, and we're just like, we were in the perfect position to do the kitchen sink, and I reckon we could have conquered it with, the 6 of us that were there, and we didn't think of it. Everyone, I was all about the No Way Jose. I think Lewis was just going along with whatever I was up for. Yep. He's nodding away. And yeah, just didn't even cross my mind.
So for those of you who've never come across this challenge, basically it is a metal kitchen sink with the little fake taps, and they have a whole drama because the restaurant goes quiet. They have these orange flashing lights, and they really make it come in with a whole big kerfuffle, and everyone says, and it's made with a whole can of whipped cream.
Whipped cream.
And It's basically got virtually every ice cream flavour in the shop. It's got pineapple, peanut butter, hot chocolate fudge sauce, caramel sauce. It's got everything, cherries, everything, and it is huge.
Massive. It's not called the kitchen sink for nothing.
Because they do stick everything but the kitchen sink in it. And it is such a phenomenal thing. And normally when you sat there, you see 2 or 3 people at least attempt it. So it has that nice little vibe that you get like at the Grog Grotto, where you know what's happening when someone orders a particular drink.
Yeah, I was actually thinking it's kind of the ice cream equivalent of that.
Yeah. We all went for the No Way Jose, which is a peanut butter and hot fudge delight. And they suggest you have chocolate and vanilla ice cream, although you can change any of the ice cream flavours out. It's got peanut butter and chocolate morsels, whipped cream and a cherry. $9.50. This is something that I just quite am astonished at the value for, because it is just so amazing.
I know, when you look at the price of Mickey bars now,
Yeah.
when you compare that to what you get in a No Way Jose, there's no comparing them.
Absolutely. Now, we can all agree that the food was delicious, but the service, in my mind, made that meal fantastic, because there were 6 of us and we were a little bit sort of cuddled up to each other in this little booth. And Stephen, bless his cotton socks, noticed a table that was empty to the side. So he said to the lady, do you mind? But I'm a bit squashed. And he said, is there anything we can do? And she said, well, do you want to sit over there? So Stephen sort of then went, and we called it the kiddie table. And we gave him crayons and colouring things. And
the staff all went and sat with him to keep him company.
And it was just so cute.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. They were just so neat, and they just they were there to have fun. They weren't there just to drudge through their day. They wanted to have fun as well. I really enjoyed that.
Well, surely it's better in any type of employment that you have to have a little bit of a laugh and a giggle along the way, but to work at Beaches and Cream, you must have that as your core ethos.
Yeah, absolutely. They must be very selective with the people that they choose. Similar to 50's Primetime Diner. You kind of have the people that work there. They're there to be in that role and to make sure people have fun. It's good. I like it.
Yeah. We probably spent about an hour and a half there because we had the 2 courses. And if you wanted, you could indulge in an alcoholic beverage. I don't think any of us did. Or did you guys have a beer?
I did. And that's what I was going to say. The other thing that I had was the Ace Pineapple Craft Cider, which was a pineapple cider. I mean, what more could a girl want? And it was delicious.
Oh, well, when you have a look, they do have some pretty amazing beverages. And one of them that caught my eye was the Guinness Stout with chocolate sauce and vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, it's something I've been tempted to actually try at home. I reckon that'd be quite nice.
Yeah, do it yourself. Send us a picture.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll have to give it a whirl at some stage.
Okay. Well, I don't know about you guys, but on your next Walt Disney World trip, will you be making a return visit?
If we can. I think that we'll probably, even if we just go to the takeaway window and split something, I'd just like to go back and just stick my head in. Maybe reattempt the No Way Jose without having an entree first.
Just for lunch. Just have lunch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We could do that. I like the idea of that. So, yeah. I mean, we're spending some time at Epcot next time, but we've got Flower and Garden, I think, is also going to be on, which I understand there's food booths all around the resort, sort of similar to Food and Wine. Is that how it works?
It is indeed.
So we'll be coming back a good 10 kilos heavier next trip as well.
It's all good. It's all in the name of a research trip. And you've mentioned that you're going back to Walt Disney World in the summer, but you've got a trip before then.
We do. We're actually heading back to Shanghai and Hong Kong. We fly out on Christmas night so that we can appease Lewis's mother and spend Christmas with them because that's how, we don't want to get in trouble. And so flying out on Christmas night is kind of cool. So we get to go do the family thing and then head out. We're going straight up to Shanghai and spending some time at the resort, going down to Beijing and then going down and finishing off our trip in Hong Kong. So pretty excited about that, especially going back to Shanghai and spending some more time. It was kind of not overwhelming, but there was just so much to do last time that, we didn't get to do all the things that we wanted to do. Didn't get to try a duck leg.
Exactly.
Got to do that this time.
Sounds amazing. I so wish I could squeeze in a Christmas trip and join you guys.
I know, so do we. And we're still, maybe if one of us wins lotto, we can wrangle something.
Oh, that would be so amazing. I would love to do that. And then obviously you've got your cruise, Disneyland, Walt Disney World, Mark II trip next year as well.
Yeah, April, May. So it'll be interesting to see what the weather's like at that time of year, whether it's a little bit clearer than what we experienced this last trip. Not that we had anything particularly nasty with the weather, but, it did rain a little bit here and there. And from what I understand, it's probably a little bit less prone to raining around April, May.
I believe so. I think it's going to be cooler as well. So, the weather will be much more clement.
And we're doing the Eastern Caribbean, so again, different ports to go and check out, and pretty excited to get back onto a Disney cruise. And actually, we were listening to your episode with Ashley from WDW Happy Place the other week, and we were both sort of talking about, you know, the cruise and putting it on at the end of the trip, because you do find that, you know, you are more relaxed by the end of the cruise. I think it wasn't necessarily a mistake, but I think that going back into the parks after our cruise this last time meant that you kind of had to do all the running around again. So this time we're actually doing the cruise at the end of our trip. We'll just be nice and chilled and relaxed and head back to the plane and cruise our way back to Australia. But Lewis got this harebrained idea. He's just like, I wonder if there's another cruise that we could do, because we've got a few days spare that we haven't filled yet. So I wonder if there's like a 2 or 3 night cruise that we could do, but nothing's going to work out date wise. I know, it was funny, but that was the inspiration that you and Ashley gave him. It was so funny.
Yeah, it was Ashley's fault, because you're like, because if you have so many cruises, then you get to be gold, and then you get to be. I'm going, like, if we go on one cruise a year, it's going to take us like 10 years to get to platinum. So it's like, maybe we should go on a shorter cruise, and maybe that's the trick, is that you just go, okay, these cruises are back to back and they're 3 days. We'll go do those, and then you get to platinum like that. Yeah, it'd be great.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, Lewis the Collector. I'm actually hoping that one of the boats is going to be based in the Asian region. Oh my goodness, what's with me today? I'm very tired. So that we can maybe do some local trips.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Oh, very envious. Very envious.
Oh no, because we'll make you come out here and have some local trips in the new boat that they send out to us.
Well, I was talking the other day with a friend of mine, because I was telling her about booking next year's trip, and she said, why do you keep going back to the same place? And it's like, oh gosh,
because it's magical.
You don't know me at all. But you've been going to the same place for the last 8 years non-stop. Don't you get bored? No. I've not seen it all yet, and it's all different every trip.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, isn't it? I mean, 8 years of doing that, Michelle, that's just nuts that you haven't managed to do everything, because I think it's impossible. They're always adding new things on to do, and love it.
But it's good to know you're going to a place where you know you're going to enjoy yourself as well.
Yeah.
Like if you just think about like some of the places you visit, if you go, like, I'm going to go to this country or something like that, you get to that country and it's not what you expect, then it's kind of disappointing. But we already know that Disney is going to be good. Like, that's one of the things about traveling to the Asian parks, is that it gives you the chance to go and actually see like Shanghai and Hong Kong and Tokyo, and it gives you that comfort of knowing that, even though you're going into a foreign country, a different environment, you've still got the familiarity of Disney to keep you grounded. So if you're a nervous traveler, that just makes it a little bit easier for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, completely agree. And if Adventures by Disney was not so expensive, that's how I would travel every time.
Oh, yeah. That's another ambition, but probably down the track for us.
A long way down the track. Anyway, I am going to put a big old bow on this week's show. Guys, would you like to give yourself a shout out where people can find you on the old social media?
Well, you can listen to our podcast. We've got Diz Down Under, which is the one that Kat and I do together. We've got Unscripted, the film show, which is a film show that I do with Ada, Rachel, Cecilia, and myself. And that's every week. We talk about the recent releases that are coming up. And then there is Tangent City, our catch-all show, where we can do spoiler cast and other bits and pieces like that as well. And if you want to go find information on any and all of those podcasts, you can go to thegentlemanofpopculture.com, our website, or you can catch them on Facebook. I think they've all got Facebook pages and Instagram and LinkedIn and MySpace. No, they don't have those ones. Well, they haven't got MySpace and LinkedIn.
Oh, my God.
They've got the other ones.
You're banned from doing the social media calls from now on.
Fair enough.
It gets there in the end. It's fine.
Yeah.
As usual, you can find the Disney Dream Girls anywhere and everywhere by searching for that. Over on our Facebook page, we're giving away lots of our Walt Disney World goodies, so please go join in the competitions over there. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at DisDreamGirls, and you can email us info@disneydreamgirls.com. But until our next show, it's goodbye from me.
Bye.
Bye.